everybody. Welcome to week number 5, Photography Yoga Group. Hope that you are all doing well and feeling great and ready for our next week of yoga practice. So, let's get started. We're going to focus on our hips a lot today. So today's another day that I want to make sure you have your blocks nearby. We're going to be doing a lot of deep hip openers and stretches, and these are definitely going to come in handy, possibly right even from the beginning. So we're going to start down on our backs. Let's go ahead and lay down. And you're going to open your knees out to the sides. So the bottoms and the feet will be together. The knees are open. And if this feels a little bit intense and if it's not so comfortable on the hips, then just take your blocks and slide them right underneath of your upper thighs. So they'll just be right underneath, and they're just going to support and take a little bit of the weight of the legs, so then you can relax where you are a little bit more. From here, bring your left hand onto your heart, your right hand onto your belly. Let your eyes close. And take a moment here before we start manipulating the breath, just to allow yourself to fully arrive on the mat. Allow the body, the mind, the heart, all just to come together. Everything settles. Everything becomes a little easier, a little lighter. You may notice that the breath naturally starts to deepen. You start to want to take deeper, fuller breaths. Go with it. If you're not experiencing that sensation, that's fine. Just let the body do what it needs to do as it kind of slows down, and as the awareness and attention comes to the body and the mat and yourself. On your next exhale, let all of the air go completely. We're going to take our next breath in a long count of 5. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing it in through the nose. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take another sip of air in. Letting it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press any remaining air out of the body. All of this in and out through the nose 3 more times. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more sip of air in. Letting it out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press any remaining air out from the belly. 2 more times. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more sip of air. 1 more. 1 more. Letting it out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press any air out. Again. 1 more. Take this one more time on your own silent count, holding that breath at the top as long as you possibly can, experiencing complete and total fullness. And then taking your 5 count exhale. And again, hold it at the bottom as long as you can. From your belly, press out any extra air that you can. And just hold it at the bottom, empty, depleted. And then when you absolutely have to, allow the breath just to come back to its normal, natural, easy pace. Just with a restored, fresh supply of oxygen to the body. Feel how easy the breath feels now. Slide your hands down to the outsides of your thighs and close your knees in towards one another. If you had blocks out to the sides, just slide them off to the side of the mat so that they're easily accessible for later. And then you're going to open your feet up wider than your mat and drop your knees in towards one another. So the exact opposite shape of the one that we just took. You're going to feel a nice, kind of deep, subtle stretch through the tops of the hips all the way around. See if the pinky toes can stay heavy. See if the breath can stay easy. Keeping your feet wide, start to let your knees fall like windshield wipers right and left. And again, keep your feet really wide here. And then gently let both knees fall over to the left. Scoop your right foot up and under you a little bit more so you're getting a nice long stretch through that top of the left hip. And you can either stay here, or if you would like to take that other ankle and cross it over, it's going to intensify that stretch. Just breathe really deep into that left hip. Uncross that ankle if you have it. Take your knees up and over to the other side. Again, the feet stay really wide. That bottom foot scoops up behind you a little bit more. Press your hips up towards the ceiling. And then either just stay here, or you can take that front foot and cross it over the knee. Breathing really deep into that hip stretch, maybe feeling a little stretch all the way down to the knee. If you have the ankle crossed over, uncross it. Bring your knees back to the center, hug them into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze and start to rock forward and back on your spine. Take about 5 rocks until you come all the way up to sit. And then right away, just carry your legs around behind you, either over your knees or around to the side for all fours. Setting yourself up for all fours with your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Start to move through cat-cow, inhaling, open the chest. Exhale, push the floor weight round to the spine. Inhale as you come forward, slide the shoulders away from the ears, pull the chest through the arms. Exhale, hollow out completely. And continue back and forth on your own. Really using the breath deeply. Using the breath to find more space through the body. One more round. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to the center. Nice long neutral spine. Take your right leg, stretch it back behind you, toes on the floor. Reach forward and back through that heel, finding a little stretch through the Achilles and the calf. And then lift the leg up to hip height. As you exhale, pull the knee up to the right shoulder. Drop it down through the center and inhale, stretch it back. I'm going to turn to face you so you have a better view. Exhale, pull the knee out to the right shoulder. Drop it down through the center, inhale, stretch back. 3 more. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, big circles. Inhale, 1 more. And then you're going to reverse the circles. Exhale, pull it through the middle. Open it out nice and wide and stretch it back. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more. 1 more. Take that knee and set it down underneath, crossing it behind your left knee. Lift your hips up like cow pose. Press your hips back and then start to walk your hands over to the right. Spread the fingers wide. Press your hips back. Let your head go. See if you can elongate through the upper back a little bit more, as though you were opening your heart towards your thumbs. Use the arms to actively press into the floor, opening the shoulders at the same time as the hips. Walk your hands back to the center. Uncross that leg. Take one more round of cat-cow here to reset the spine. Inhaling, rolling the heart high for cow. Exhaling into cat. Come back to neutral. Stretch your left leg back behind you. Reach forward and back through that heel. Feel the texture of the mat under the hands here, so you're really aware of the fingers. And then lift that leg up to hip height. As you exhale, pull the knee up to the left shoulder. Drop it down through the middle, stretch it back. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Big circles. And then reverse. Exhale through the middle. Inhale, open it nice and high and wide, stretch back. 3 more. One more. And then take that leg, cross it behind, setting it down behind your right knee. Press your hips back. Walk your hands over to the left. Spread your fingers, drop your head. Long, full, deep breaths. And then see if from the center of your spine you can elongate. Walk your hands back to the center. Uncross your leg. Tuck your toes under. Start to lift up and back for downward dog. And feel free, of course, to keep the knees soft as you just start to open up the shape. Pedal out through the feet, bending one knee at a time. See if you can keep the arms strong and long. So instead of bringing the weight forward onto the hands, press the weight back into the legs. Really getting that stretch all the way through the backs of the legs, from the sit bone all the way down to the heel. On your next inhale, come forward to a plank. As you exhale, downward dog, press back. Inhale, plank. Downward dog, exhale. One more time, inhale, plank. Press your hips back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank. As you exhale, knees, chest, and chin, tail to the sky, shift the weight forward to lower. Onto your belly, baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more times like that. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Baby cobra, slide onto the belly, lift your heart. Downward facing dog, press back. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take a moment to breathe. Do what you need to do as you breathe here. If you need to soften the knees, if you need to relax the shoulders or shake the head, find your downward dog with the biggest stretch possible. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward as you exhale. Step, walk, or if you're ready, jump your feet to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, let it go. Soften your knees, hold on to opposite elbows, and let your torso swing from right to left. Really heavy through your head, heavy through your elbows, soft through your knees. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale, let it go, and drop your hands. Soften your knees and roll up to stand. As you inhale, reach the arms around and up. As you exhale, soften your knees and fold forward. Lengthen to a flat back, press your hands into your shins if that helps you. Find the length. Hands to the floor, your left leg steps back. Drop your left knee down, lift your arms. Sink your hips forward, but lengthen the waist. drawing the tailbone down towards the floor, the front of the pelvis rolling up. Trust your front leg and give it weight, and then maybe you can look up and look at your thumbs, leaning slightly back. Keep reaching your pinky fingers higher to lift the weight out of the legs. Bring your right hand down outside of your right foot. Lift your left arm to the ceiling. Actively press the right knee into the right bicep and twist the torso open a little bit more. Sink your hips forward and lean your shoulders back. Bring your left hand down to the floor. Lift your right arm up to the ceiling. Again, sink your hips forward. Roll up through those fingers. Lean back. Bring your hand down. Tuck your toes. Lift your knee. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, shift the weight forward, chaturanga. Untuck your toes, lift your heart, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, press back. Breathe. Lift your right leg up behind you. Roll that right hip open, keep lifting the leg and then bend the knee in the air. Press down through the right hand really strong and press your hips back even more. Feeling that split between the legs, the nice long stretch. Lift the right leg, straightening it. Square off your hips, roll your outer right hip down, pull your left hip back. Feel square hips here. Feel the press back of the right heel. Step the foot forward between your hands. One step, maybe multiple steps if you need to help yourself out. On your fingertips, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step your back foot forward and roll all the way up. Inhale, reach the arms around and up. Exhale, fold forward. Lengthen the spine to a flat back. Step your right foot back behind you. Release the knee down to the floor. Lift your arms, Anjaneyasana. And again, lift the front of your hips up. Lift up through the belly so the abdominals are nice and strong and supporting the low back here. The tailbone rolls heavy. Reach up through the pinky fingers. Lift your chest, lift your heart. Find your breath. Reach a little longer. Left hand comes to the floor outside the left foot. Your right arm lifts to the ceiling. Press that left knee into the left arm and see if you can roll the chest open more. Bring that left hand down. The right hand down. Lift your left arm up. Sink your hips forward, lean the shoulders back, lengthen the sides of the neck. Bring your hand down to the floor, downward facing dog, step back. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, belly stays strong, bend your elbows, chaturanga. Roll the shoulders back, upward dog. Downward dog, press back. Spread the fingers, lengthen the spine. From there, keep that as you lift the left leg. Keep lifting the left leg until the hip opens, bend the knee. Press your hips back. Keep the left arm strong and long. Try not to let your right armpit kind of drop. Keep it lifted. Straighten your left leg. Square your hips off. Press the left heel back. Step that left foot forward between your hands. On your fingertips, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, your back foot steps in. Soften your knees. Roll up to stand. Take a moment to stand tall. Feel the heels pressing down, the back of the neck lengthening up. You're going to take your blocks. You're going to place your blocks right at the top of your mat, about hip distance apart, about 6 inches apart, or a little wider, maybe about 10 inches apart. Inhale, reach your arms around and up. Exhale, soften your knees, fold forward. Hands on the blocks, lengthen to a flat back. Step your left foot back behind you. Press into the blocks to bring that right foot forward between them. Fingertips on the blocks, open your chest. Exhale, palms on the blocks, straighten the front leg. Inhale, fingertips, bend the knee, lift the chest. Exhale, stretch. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Bend the front knee. Lift your right arm, take a twist. Now press down through the right big toe and the heel and slowly start to straighten your right leg. You may need to prop that second block up to the second highest height. From here, reach the fingertips through space. Lean the shoulders back, twist. Bend your front knee. Bring your hand down. Blocks on the lowest height. Press down through the blocks. Lift your hips. Engage your belly. Lift the foot 1 inch off of the mat. Send the leg back, three-legged downward dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, press back. Exhale, touch your right tricep. Press back. Take it across to the left. Press back. Come forward to a plank. You can keep the foot lifted or lower it down. On the blocks, chaturanga. On the blocks, upward dog. It feels nice for the arms to be longer. Downward dog, press back. Spread the fingers down into the blocks. Press your hips back. You have longer arms here now, so you can have a longer spine. Lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward. As you exhale, step walker, jump your feet together between the blocks. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, let it go. Reverse swan dive up to stand. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, soft knees, fold forward, hands on the blocks. Lengthen to a flat back. Step your right leg back behind you. Press into the blocks, bring the left foot forward between them. On your fingertips on the blocks, open the chest. Have a back bend, open the throat. Exhale, palms on the blocks, stretch back. Inhale, forward. Exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale. Bend the front knee, come back forward. Lift your left arm up, twist. Press down through that left foot to start to straighten your left leg. If you need to lift that bottom block to a higher height, do that. Roll the chest open more. Squeeze your inner thighs, lift your hips higher. Find the breath. Bend your front knee. Bring the left hand back down. Drop the right block down to its lowest height. Press into the blocks. Use the strength of the core. Silently lift the foot 1 inch off the mat. Send the leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, press back. Touch your left tricep. Press back. Take it across to the right. Press it back. Come forward to a plank, leg lifted or lower down to the floor, chaturanga. Both feet down, upward dog. Downward dog, press back. Breathe. Relax your shoulders, easy neck. Press down through the hands into the blocks. Moving the shoulders away from the blocks towards your toes. Lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward. As you exhale, step walker, hop your feet outside of the blocks. Go ahead, sit down between your heels. Coming into Malasana, I'm trying to face you guys. So, you're here. If this is too much on the knees or the hips, bring a block and just sit on that block. It's right there, so you have it to open up the knees. If you don't need the block under your hips, move the blocks out to the sides. Bring your hands together at your heart. Use the arms to open the knees to lengthen the spine and breathe. Relax the tops of your ankles, the tops of your hips, and lengthen the sides of your waist. Hands on the floor. Lift your hips. Coming into our crow practice, our arm balance. You're looking forward on the floor in front of you. You're going to stack the knees on the triceps. Try one foot at a time to lift. When you're ready, you'll lift both feet. I'll turn sideways so you have a better view. Hips are above the shoulders, knees are as close to the armpits as you can get them. You're looking forward. Press down through your fingers and allow the feet to float off the mat. From here, hands on the floor, step walk, or if you're in crow and you want to try going on, you're going to shoot your legs back and land in chaturanga. Take a breath in. As you exhale, take it back. All the way through to downward dog. From downward dog, lift your right leg up behind you. Step it forward between your hands. Drop your back heel, warrior two, open it up nice and wide. Bend that front knee as deeply as you can. Flip your front palm, reverse warrior, stretch back. Side angle, come forward. Bend your front knee deeper. Roll your left side of the body open. 2 more breaths. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Pull your back heel in so the toes are turned out. The heels are closest together. Bend your knees, sit low, gather your fingers together. Inhale, lift through the center. Flip your palms round the spine, reach forward. Inhale, lift up. Circle the arms down, gather the fingers. Inhale, stand. Exhale, press. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. One more time, inhale. Round the chest away from the hands. Inhale. Exhale. This time, bring your forearms onto your thighs. Shift side to side. Just allowing the knees to open, stretching out the inner thighs. And then straighten the legs, come back up. Your right toes are straight forward, your left heel is going to pivot back for triangle pose. So the left toes are facing kind of on an angle forward. Both legs are straight, hips are under, reach the arms long. Flip the front palm, reverse triangle, stretch back. Press that right foot into the floor as you reach away from it. Up and over extended triangle, reach forward as far as you can. Keep reaching forward, and then drop the right hand to the right shin, the left arm to the ceiling. Feel the length in the arms here. Feel the chest rolling open, the shoulders leaning back. Breathe into both sides of your waist. Keep pressing your hips forward, leaning your shoulders back. And reach your tailbone towards your back heel. Pull up through the top arm to stand. Bring your hands to your heart, bend your front knee, lunge, lift your back heel off the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, hover your chest forward. Take another breath in, open the heart. Exhale, warrior three, lift your back leg off the floor. If this is too much, hands can come down to blocks underneath of the shoulders for extra support. Wherever you are, you're making the longest line possible from your left heel through the top of the head. One more breath. Land that foot, chair pose. Weight into the heels, lift your arms. Sit your hips a little bit lower, lift your chest a little bit higher. Bring your hands to the floor. Lengthen the spine, open the chest. Plant your hands, step, walk, or jump back, moving through your vinyasa to downward dog. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Back heel down, warrior two. I'm going to turn around to face you guys. Bend your left knee deeper. Reach your arms longer and connect the abdominals in the front of the body. Reverse warrior, stretch back. Side angle, come forward. Forearm on the thigh, right arm alongside your ear. That front thigh is parallel to the floor if at all possible. The top side of the chest is rolling open. Find the ease of the breath, just like at the beginning of class when we're on our backs. One more breath. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. This time turn your toes parallel. So last time our toes were turned out. This time straight forward, hands onto the hips. Press down on the hips to lift up through the chest. And then fold forward over your legs. Lengthen to a flat back. Hands underneath of the shoulder. Hands on blocks if you need. Bend one knee at a time. Focus on the length in the spine. So I'm going to turn sideways. So you really want the spine to be parallel to the floor as you move here and not rounded or hunched. So really fight for that long spine. Straighten both legs. Bring your hands back onto your hips. Come all the way up to stand. You're coming into triangle pose. Left toes straight forward. Right toes pivot in slightly. Arms reach long. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, reverse triangle. Press your left foot into the floor. Reach far away from it. Up and over, extended triangle. Keep reaching forward. Left hand to the left shin, right arm to the ceiling. The inner thighs are drawing up and together, so there's a lift from underneath. And then when you have that lift from underneath, you have more freedom in the upper body to turn the torso a little bit more, to lengthen the heart away from the hips. There's very little weight in this bottom hand. It's just dropping onto that leg. The lift is from that top arm drawing up. 2 more breaths here. Breathe into the space around you. Come all the way back up. Bring your hands to your heart. Bend your front knee, lift your back heel, take a breath in. As you exhale, hover your chest forward. Take another breath in, reach long through the top of the head. Exhale, warrior three, your back leg lifts off. Reach the back heel back, the top of the head forward. Breathe. Listen to your breath. Utkatasana, land that foot. Sitting down nice and low for a chair pose. Squeeze your inner thighs, sit lower, lift your heart higher. Fold all the way over the legs. Soften your knees, lengthen the spine. Plant your hands, step, walk, or jump back through your vinyasa, all the way to downward dog. Spread your fingers, lift your hips, press them back. Lift your right leg up behind you as high as it can go. Step the right foot forward between your hands, warrior two. Drop your back heel, circle your arms open, stay where you are. Reverse warrior, we were already here, reach back. Exhale, side angle going further. This time that hand comes down inside the front foot, either onto a block or onto the floor. The left arm turns behind you, wraps around your low back, seeing if you can grab hold of that right thigh. Lean the rib cage into that arm, start to roll the chest open. Now either stay here, if you would like to go further for the full bind, that right arm wraps up and under, you try to find your hands together behind the leg. And instead of allowing your torso to come forward once you get it, lean your shoulders back, bend your knee deeper, and roll the heart to the ceiling. Wherever you are, look down. Slowly start to straighten your front leg. This does not mean it needs to straighten all the way, especially if you have the full bind. Don't worry about straightening it all the way. Just explore straight leg and bend, and a few times back and forth. And then release that bind, come back to warrior two. We're coming into another balance here, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. You're going to reach forward through the right fingers, coming to stand on the right leg. That right hand is going to come either to a block or it's going to hover in space. Your left leg is going to lift up behind you. So it's like warrior three but with open hips. Reach back through that left heel, keep the gaze down, and either keep the hand on the block or allow it to just float and find the balance. Reach longer in every direction. Standing split, bring both hands down to blocks or the floor. Close that left hip. Drop your head and try to walk your hands closer to your right toes. So you're really deeply folded. If you would like to play with balance here, you can see if you can hold on to your right ankle with one or maybe with both hands. Lengthen the spine. Bend your front knee, take a step back to a low lunge. Lift your right arm, twist. Bring that right hand down inside of the right foot. Open your right foot over to the right and drop your back knee for lizard pose. Sink the hips forward, either stay on your hands, let the right knee open, or you can lower down to your forearms, either on the mat or on blocks. It's up to you. Feel the weight of the hips, the weight of the shoulders. Sink your hips a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit more over to the right. Breathe into the deepest part of that stretch, and then see if you can soften everything else. Come back up onto your hands. Tuck your toes, lift your knee behind you. Now from here, you're going to walk your hands around to the left. You're going to drop the left heel to the floor and lift the toes to the ceiling for Skandasana. Now, you can sit this low. If that's not possible for you, you may feel yourself up here a little bit. That's totally fine. Wherever you're getting the most stretch through the inner thighs, the right knee is bent and turned out. The left toes are to the ceiling. You can put a little weight into your hands. Let your hips be heavy. Just breathe. You can walk yourself all the way forward, let your head go. Relax the tops of the hips as much as you can. Keep rolling your knees back behind you. Two more breaths. Walk your hands back in. Lift your hips, turn back forward, hands on the floor around the right foot, downward facing dog. Either stay in your downward dog and just find your breath, or move through a vinyasa, inhaling forward, exhale to lower. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, press back. Let your left leg lift up behind you really high, and then step the foot forward between your hands. Drop your back heel, open it up, warrior two. Stay where you are. Bend your front knee a little bit deeper, reach your arms a little bit longer. Reverse warrior, reach back, open that left side body. Side angle, a little deeper. Left hand comes to the floor or a block. Right arm wraps around behind your low back. Roll the shoulder open. Lean into that arm. And either stay here, or if you can, go for that full bind. Again, if this means that the body comes forward, then it's not worth it. Don't go for it. Only going there if you can still feel that openness in the chest, still feel the heart rolling to the ceiling and that front knee bending. Look down. And a few times, just play with bending and straightening that front leg. Moving very slowly, being very gentle. And then release the arms, come back, warrior two. Ardha Chandrasana, reach the left arm forward, come to stand on the left leg. Hand can come to a block, or if you don't need the block, Just reach the fingertips towards the floor and feel the body expanding. The longer you reach every single thing in the body, the easier the balance becomes. The softer the breath, the better. Standing split, close it off. Roll your outer right hip down, lift that leg. Walk your hands closer to your left toes, maybe onto your left ankle, if you would like to play with the balance. And bring your hands to the floor, take a step back. Lift your left arm, twist. Bring that left hand down inside the left foot. Open your left foot over to the left for lizard. Drop your back knee, untuck your toes. Allow the left knee to drape open to the side. Sink your hips forward. And either stay on your hands, just focus on the weight of the hips in the stretch. Or if you would like to go further, come down to your forearms on blocks or the floor. Breathing deeply into the resistance. Feeling the shoulders and the head heavy. Feel the stretch in the body, and use your exhales to gently slide into it a little deeper. Not pushing the body, but just moving towards that resistance. Gently come back up onto your hands. Tuck your toes under behind you, Skandasana. Drop your back heel to the floor. Right toes to the ceiling, walk your hands around. And you can either stay lifted up nice and high in the hips, or you can sit down. It's up to you where your body is. Roll the knees open, the inner thighs open. Maybe you walk your hands forward and let your head go. Make sure that those right toes are straight to the ceiling and not coming forward. Feel the weight of the head, the weight of the hips, the softness in the shoulders. And then walk your hands back in. Turn back forward. Step back to downward dog and take a vinyasa if you like. From downward dog, lift your right leg straight back behind you. Exhale, knee to nose, come forward. Inhale, press back. Come forward, touch your right tricep. Press back. Take it across to the left. Press the leg back. Open up the hip and bend the knee. And then stretch that leg, step the foot between your hands. Now for this next one, you're definitely going to need your blocks, so make sure that they're nearby. Bring your blocks underneath of your hands on the second height. Right foot starts to heel toe to the left side of the mat, across your body. Slowly start to straighten your right leg. Start to walk your hands on the blocks over to the right. So the legs are crossed, the arms are walking over to the right. Squeeze your inner thighs, lift your hips higher and drop your head. It's a huge stretch for the IT band, for the hamstring. So use your breath. Relax your shoulders. Softly bend your front knee, walk your hands back forward. You're going to step your left foot straight forward, which means it will be tucked underneath of the right. The legs will be crossed. The pinky toes close together, drop your head. Just fold over your crossed legs. It's okay if that front knee is soft. Press down through the big toe mounds. Start to bend your left knee, the back knee. Allow the right ankle to cross up and on top of that knee. Bring your hands together like chair pose. Press your hips back. And this time allow your chest to come forward. Roll the shoulders open, slide the weight back even more, sit a little bit lower. With soft gaze and soft breath, your next pose is Ardha Chandrasana, where we were before. You're going to reach that right leg up and back behind you. Peel the chest open, reach the arms in opposite directions. Take a huge stretch. Hands to the floor. Low lunge, take a big step back. Press your hands into the floor, step your left foot back about 6 inches. Turn all 10 toes over to the left and lift your left arm. Stretching out that outer left hip. Lift your hips high, roll the shoulders back. Bring your hands back down. Downward dog. Vinyasa, take it or leave it. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, press back. Exhale, touch the left tricep. Press back. Take it across to the right. Press back, open up the hips and bend the knee. Press strongly down through your arms to send your hips higher. Straighten the legs, step it forward. Make sure that those blocks are close by. Start to heel toe your left foot over to the right, taking it across the body. Hands on blocks on the pinky toe side of the foot. Straighten your front leg. Squeeze your inner thighs, lift your hips, and walk your hands around to the left. Let your head go. Relax your shoulders. See if you can keep pressing down through that left big toe mound and pulling your left hip back. And I know this is a big stretch, so really rely on the breath here to keep the body calm, to keep the body committed. Soften the front knee, walk your hands back forward. Step your back foot straight forward, right leg tucked under the left. Just drop heavy over the legs, hands on blocks or they can just fall. Keep the big toes pressing down. Start to bend your back knee. Slide your front leg up, the ankle crosses over the knee. Bring your hands together, sit your hips back and low. Roll the shoulders open, sit a little bit lower. Think of pulling the knees away from one another. Soften the gaze. Sit your hips lower still. Your next pose is Ardha Chandrasana. Open everything up. Left leg reaches back, left arm reaches up. Feel the whole body expanding through space. Bring your hands to the floor. Take a step back, low lunge. Press into your hands, step your right foot back about 6 inches. Turn your toes over to the right and lift your right arm. Press down through the heel, open the chest. Lean your shoulders back. Feel the reach up through that top arm. Bring your hand down to the floor. Great job, you guys. Step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Belly stays strong. Bend your elbows lower all the way down to the floor. Interlace your hands together at your low back. Shalabhasana, roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. Lift the legs and the thighs. Feel the heart pulling forward, the back of the neck long. Breathe as deeply as you can into the chest. One more breath, lift a little higher. Let it go. Turn your cheek to the floor and let your hips just shake from side to side. And then bend your knees. Either take Shalabhasana again, or go for Dhanurasana. Reach back, hold on to your ankles. Roll the shoulders back, lift your thighs, lift your chest. Actively kick the feet back to pull the heart open. Keep the neck long so you're not straining the cervical spine. Feel the breath. Lift a little higher. Gently let it go. Turn your opposite cheek to the floor, and like windshield wipers, let your feet fall from right to left. And then stretch your legs. Press back to child's pose. Sit back onto your heels. Bring your forehead down to the floor. Use the hands to press the weight back into the hips so you really get a nice stretch through the lower back. Arms stay active. You're getting a shoulder stretch here as well. Just let your head rest onto the mat and breathe. Gently roll up and find a seat. Taking a couple of gentle hip stretches here in a seated position. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Sit up nice and tall from your hips hinge forward for Baddha Konasana. Let the head go. Keep the belly long. And just breathe deeply into those hips. They should feel nice and a little stretched out now. And gently roll up. You're going to open your legs out to the sides nice and wide. Now flex your feet so the toes are to the ceiling. Bring your hands behind your hips and scoot your hips forward a little bit more. Sitting up nice and tall, you can either just stay sitting up here if you're getting a nice stretch. If you would like to go further forward, start to walk yourself forward. Try to keep the toes to the ceiling, not rolling forward. And just let your head go. Keep your outer hips rolling back behind you. Find softness in the stretch where you can. And use the breath to where the stretch feels really tight, very challenging. Gently walk your hands back in. Close your knees in together. You're going to roll all the way down onto your back. Bridge pose. Plant your feet, heels nice and close to your sit bones. Press down through your feet, lift your hips to the ceiling. One at a time, walk your shoulders together. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Press the arms into the floor, lift your hips higher. Think of lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. Press down through all four edges of your feet, all 10 of your toes, your heels. See if you can lift your hips a little higher. Gently open your arms. One vertebrae at a time, roll down onto your back. Just let your knees fall from side to side. And then either taking bridge pose again like we just did, or setting yourself up for full wheel, bring your hands by your shoulders. When you're ready, gently lift all the way up. Wherever you are in bridge or in full wheel, maybe you explore how it feels to lift one leg. Take about 3 breaths with one leg up. And then explore the other leg. With both feet down, gently roll all the way down, one vertebrae at a time, and then hug your knees into your chest. Rock your back from side to side. Take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee, and open that knee up. So this is the same stretch that we took as a balance earlier. Reach down this time, hold onto your left hamstring. Roll the right knee open away from you. Keep your tailbone heavy and just pull it in towards you for reclined pigeon. Notice if you're tensing up in the back of the neck like this, and just lift your head off the floor. Tuck your chin and re-lengthen the head back down. If you still feel it happening, just grab a block and slide it underneath of your head so your head is supported. So you're not straining in that neck at all. Relax your shoulders. Release the arms. Keep that leg crossed over, but slide it all the way across so the knees are stacked on top of each other, and drop your knees over to the left. Let your gaze open up to the right and take a nice, easy, long twist. See if you can feel that right shoulder blade falling to the floor. And gently come back to the center. Switching legs, cross your left ankle over the right knee. Reach down, hold onto the right hamstring and pull it in towards you. And again, make sure the back of the neck is not tensing up. The shoulders are heavy and soft. The tailbone is lengthening down. So if you feel like the hips are coming up towards you like this, try to press back down. If you have a wall nearby, you can press that bottom foot, that right foot into the wall, and that will help to lengthen the tailbone down as well. Roll that left knee open even more. Breathe deeply into the back of the hip. And gently slide that leg all the way across. Drop your knees over to the right. Open your chest to the left. Come back to the middle. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And you're welcome to take Shavasana today in Supta Baddha Konasana as we began class. Or if you would like to take traditional, stretch your legs long. Wherever you are, open your arms by your side. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale, and let it go. Feel all of the tension just wash out of the body. Allow the body to feel heavy and weightless at the same time. Feel the weight of the eyelids. The soft texture of the breath. Give yourself permission to be still. Give yourself permission to experience quiet. And to just let go. Gently start to deepen the breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And gently bend your knees. And roll to your right side. With your eyes closed and as little effort as possible, come all the way up to a comfortable seat. Cross your ankles, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Lower your chin to your chest. In a moment of gratitude to yourself, to everything that you do, and all that you are. The light within me acknowledges and reflects the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the practice today. Pushed you guys a little bit harder, but you're ready for it, and I hope that you enjoyed. So, be proud of yourself, and till next week. Bye.